Like I was saying, I'll take the same line, guys, as I'm trying to right here when I alter the wheelbase. And this is all in high gear too, guys. Alright, guys. In my unboxing type video, I said these are spare parts. Obviously, we all know they're not by now. Not even this drive shaft. This is the shorter drive shaft versus the longer shaft. So I'm going to show how to properly install this stuff and do the short wheelbase and see the difference between the long wheelbase and your short wheelbase on crawling capabilities, which from experience has taught me that a longer wheelbase hangs up on the skid plate more versus a short wheelbase. But a short wheelbase, once you get the front tires on the rock, these rear tires are already hitting the bottom of the rock, and it will cause it to flip over. So that could happen with the short wheelbase, but we will find out and do a before and after video. So let me get it with this hand.
Can you set the game up?
Right. And what I like about this version versus the 1/10 scale is you don't have a nut on the inside like you do the 1/10 scale version. So that's always nice. Just use the Allen wrench and take it off. And those of you that have seen me drive this on my channel, especially on the most recent videos, you have seen that it is waterproof. I have basically submerged it, not willingly, it rolled in there into a deep spot and submerged this whole truck. So it is waterproof. I don't recommend submerging the whole truck, but it is, I guess you could say, splash proof, if you will, if that's what they want to use to describe it. But it is waterproof. I haven't had a problem with it. When they shipped my batteries, I didn't have a problem with those either, like some people I guess are, and all that stuff. So that's kind of a bummer. And only thing I've had happen to this when I was crawling it is that the shock at the top popped off, but it didn't break it. It just popped it off, and that was it. But I'm gonna have to pause it, guys, so I can take these tires off. I can't do it with one hand, so I will be back. And then we're gonna have to take the drive shaft. Oops, sorry. We're gonna have to take the drive shaft off the tranny, because that part is the one that slides on this shaft. That's already bolted on the rear end. So, yeah. Okay, guys, you'll have to lift the body. That way you can get the angle right to it. Hang on. My phone will stop freaking out. So you can get to that screw right there. And it goes all the way through. It's this little screw right there. And then just get a flathead. Tiny flathead. Kind of like this. And then just get in there. And get in between the tranny and that. And just pop it right off. It'll slide right out. So there you go. There's the longer drive shaft. Let me get this out of the bag and lay it out, and I will show you guys which links go where. There's another thing I noticed that's kind of a bummer, is they don't come with the eyelets. So we're gonna have to pop all these eyelets out and pop them in there. But to get an idea of what I'm talking about, where the locations of these go, these will be your top. These two. And these ones will be your bottoms. That way it keeps the pinion angle as perpendicular as it can be to your drive shaft. And if you also notice, it doesn't have the U-joint in this actual drive shaft. So we're gonna have to pop that out too, pop it in there. Hopefully I don't break it. Alright, I'll be back once I pop that on, pop those on, and then we'll start mounting it. And a little tip I like to do on getting these guys out is I'll take this end of the Allen wrench here. I'll use that end to shove that out to where it bottoms out at the most. So yeah, it'd be this side. I'd set the corner of that Allen wrench on there, push it, and then I grab that where it sticks out at, hook it, and then just pop it out. That way you don't lose it and it goes flying and all that stuff. As long as you put your finger on it and the Allen wrench when you go to pop it out. Else it's gonna go flying or drop it, whatever. So, alright, these ones will go on the top and they just screw back on there. There's 2 screws on each side. And then, of course, these screws here and so on and so forth. So I'll put it all back. And this, I got the needle noses, barely pried it out and pulled it right out. And then did it to pop it in. So this guy is on the shorter shaft. As you guys can see, it is shorter significantly. So we'll get this guy mounted on. Also, that's weird, I don't see the holes on this thing. But we'll get it back together and then I'll show you guys with it together. Okay guys, see the shock mount? You also have to move that forward like I did on that side. And they just pop right off that ball stud and stuff. You just unscrewed here. It has another hole right there. See it? Another hole there, so you'll put there and then right back right there to adjust for this wheelbase. Alright guys, let me finish that up. Okay guys, that's what it looks like. You can obviously tell it's came in a ton, right? And if you still had this shock tower back here, the shock would be like that, not straight up and down. So you could leave it that way, it's up to you, or you can have it look more realistic, I guess you could say. Alright, these are the stock tires, right? Here is the ECX Barrage tires. The, the Wide Peak MTs from that little guy, which on there right now is not those either, as you can see. Those are from my low C micro comp crawler. Forget the technical word for it, but those fit on there. So if those fit on there, these will fit on here. Watch, get it lined up here. It's hard with one hand on the hex here. If I can find it. Let's see here. I'll just go straight on. Come on. See, now it doesn't want to line up easy for me. There it goes. Alright, see? Tires on it. So these will fit. These Barrage rims and tires will fit the deadbolt. They're just a bit of a pain to get popped on there, but they will fit. But they are significantly smaller, as you can see, all the way around. So if you want to run them, they will fit, guys. Especially if you're doing like a scale truck, I might use these maybe, but I like these because they're taller, more clearance. But anyway, let's get this stock stuff back on it. That way you guys can check it out. And I will do a run with this setup now, because I already did a run with those longer links, the longer wheelbase versus the shorter wheelbase. And we'll go test it out, but it is definitely a lot shorter, guys. Wow. And I'll show you guys the pinion angle and everything. And when you guys are working on these, be careful not to over tighten those screws when you're putting them back on there for the links or transmission or whatever. I just snug them down. But see, look at that. Look at that angle. Now you know I have the links in the right position, the right ones on top and bottom. That's why I showed it that way. That way you have the right angle on your drive shaft there. Let's get this guy on here. But I'm thinking about buying another set of these tires. And not the wheels, just these tires. I'm putting them on those bead locks that are on this guy, which I'll show you a closer look. But I did that tire to show that there's somebody asking if those will fit on this guy, and they will. Just kind of a pain to get them on there a little bit, but I'm doing it with one hand too, so if you did it with two hands, I'm sure it'll be a lot easier. But there you go, guys. That wheelbase is significantly shorter, like crazy. Look at that. It looks funny. No wonder why they made it a long wheelbase out of the box. Yeah, so you definitely would change the body, I guess. Because that's going to rub right on the body, guys. So it's not going to perform really that good if you guys shorten the wheelbase like that. Put those shortened wheel links, or links period, I mean, not wheel links, but you know what I mean. Look at that, it shortened it big time. Like, that looks pretty stupid though on there. It looks dumb. Yeah, we got the same clearances, so I didn't put one wrong. But there you go. If you wanted to see it, there you go, dude. That's how dumb it's gonna look if you keep this body on here. And it's funny, you guys are calling this a mod where you cut the cage like that. That's not really a mod, but okay. If anything, if I were you guys and cut the cage to make it look better, because cutting it isn't helping anything. I mean, other than weakening the cage. But anyway, I'd cut this section out. Cut it here, here, and then cut it here and here. Take this little hump out and just have these two bars running down. That would look killer. But I don't want to chop this up. I want to leave it the way it is. But I definitely don't like that wheelbase. That looks really, really dumb. But it might work for what I want to use on it. So we'll test her out like this, and then hopefully I can get the thing I want to put on here, and we'll go from there.